Kane and welcome to another edition of Ask Gareth. The idea, as always, is very simple. You ask me a question about corporate sustainability and I do my best to answer it. The clue is in the name. And the question this time comes from Claire. And Claire asks, Dear Gareth, I'm developing a sustainability strategy. I can get plenty of advice on what to do, but not what not to do. Do you have any advice? Oh, good question. Now, to me, the litmus test on a sustainability strategy is not so much the contents, it's whether it gets implemented or not. There's no point in having the best strategy ever if it just sits on a shelf gathering dust. So my 3 pieces of advice are all about designing the strategy in a way that helps it get implemented. Number one pitfall is misalignment between business goals and sustainability goals. You see, if your sustainability goals are pulling in a different direction from business goals, then there's only going to be one winner, because the business goals have to be met for the organization to survive. It is much better to work out the win-win between sustainability and your business goals and start your strategy there. That might sound cynical, but it's actually very pragmatic, because if your sustainability strategy is seen as a boon to the business, then it'll be pushed forward, whereas if it's seen as a drag anchor in the business, it'll be cast off. So just to take a couple of very simple examples, if you're working in a field where costs are paramount, say in manufacturing, then your sustainability strategy should have plenty of targets and goals and projects which promote cost cutting, like energy efficiency, waste minimization, etc., etc. If your business is very public facing, like retail, then the projects you want are ideally those that are very newsworthy, so they enhance the brand on the high street. So you've got to get that alignment right. Number 2, the second pitfall I'd like to talk about is working in a vacuum. So what I find again and again is a sustainability individual or a small team get together, they draft a sustainability strategy, they take it to the board members ask a few questions, then they nod and move on to the next agenda item at the meeting. Then there's a bit of a sort of retreat back to the office, and the sustainability team look at each other and say, what next? Nobody said don't do it, but nobody really opened up on how to do it. And this is sort of very typical. Whereas if you develop the strategy with the key decision makers involved directly in the process, then 2 things happen. First of all, those decision makers understand the changes they will have to make the strategy happen. But secondly, if somebody proposes change to you, you tend to naturally, this is just a psychological phenomenon, you tend to naturally exaggerate the risks and play down the benefits. However, if it's your idea, then you tend to exaggerate the benefits and play down the risks. So if you get people involved in developing the strategy, then you will find instead of pushing the rock uphill, you're rolling it downhill, and things get a lot easier. The third point is lack of focus. We have a bit of a tendency in the sustainability field to sort of towards this idealism that we want to involve everybody, we want to convert everybody into a sustainability champion. Now, that can be very risky because you just spread yourself far too thin. The 80-20 rule tells us, and it works in practice, that the vast majority of our ecological footprint in an organization, say, is determined by a small number of activities and influenced by a small number of decision makers. So the key is to get those decision makers inside the sustainability development process. And don't worry so much about the rest of people. And I know for some people this is very uncomfortable, but you really do need to focus down on the people who make a difference, because you've only got a finite amount of time, finite amount of resource, a finite amount of energy. So you must use it to the maximum. Okay, so let's look at the triple bottom line, which is, if you want your sustainability strategy to be at the heart of your organisation, then you have to build it there from scratch. There is no point creating it and trying to force it into the heart of the organisation afterwards. Okay, Claire, I hope that answers your question. Everybody else, if you've got comments, whether you agree, disagree, got a different perspective or a good case study, then put it in the comments below the video here and I will answer every single one. And don't forget to go to www.terrainfirma.co.uk and sign up to the Low Carbon Agenda. That's my monthly email newsletter, which contains every future edition of Ask Gareth and a whole lot of stuff besides. And don't forget, whether you're making incremental improvements to the sustainability performance of your organisation or facilitating massive step changes towards sustainability, it all counts. You're making the world a better place and you should be proud of that. Until next time, goodbye.